Hi, Michelle.
Hello.
How are you going today?
I'm well, and you?
Fabulous. Okay. So obviously we're going to talk about International Women's Day. That's coming up.
Yeah.
And you are a co-director of this company, Promotion Products.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start there.
Yeah.
What's been your role? How did you start? How did you get involved? All of those things.
All of those things. Do you know, I actually sometimes find it difficult to define exactly what my role is here. Yes, I'm a co-director and co-founder of the company, and in day-to-day sort of job terms, I look after finances, do budgets and forecasts. I'm involved with the team, day-to-day. I tend to do wordy things. I like, words. How I got into it, I was tricked into it, to be perfectly honest. Douglas had started working part-time with his previous employer, selling branded coffee cups to the emerging coffee market. And he came to me, I had a great job at Virgin Blue as my ideal job at the time, and he said, if we're going to grow this business, you should come and work with us, and we'll grow it, and then one day you won't have to work. I think we both thought that would have a shorter time frame than 15 years that's taken this far. So I came in and looked after the financial side of the admin, and that was a good balance for me with 2 young children at the time, now grown to 4 children. And so it's been great for that balance for me. Yeah.
And it's grown as a company as well.
It has grown, yeah. We're currently at around 18, 19 people within our team. So it's been a good roller coaster ride. It's something that we always wanted to do. I don't know that we quite envisaged that it would be exactly this though.
Yeah, and so you've been involved with business for a long time, pretty much your whole career.
Yes.
So what's it been like being a woman in business?
That's a good question. I just see it as, I come and do what I do. I use the skills that I have where I can to the best of my ability. I tend not to spend too much time thinking about how that plays out in terms of, as a woman, as opposed to a male, masculine way of doing things. I think I just try to be me in doing that, and sometimes it works, sometimes maybe not so much, but that's okay.
That's life too.
Yeah, exactly.
And so we were talking about this a little bit earlier, but you went to India and did some work with some women in India. Do you want to talk about that a little bit more?
Yeah. Look, India was actually just over 2 years ago now. And that was with the Hunger Project, and we went to see the work that the elected women representatives do in their local communities in rural India. We were actually in the north of India, in the foothills of the Himalayas. And what was so spectacular about that was the women that undertook a role to be elected, some of them believing that they could do it, some of them choosing to stand for election purely because they were told that they couldn't, and they said, yes, choose me, I want to show you that I can do it. And these women drove projects that were important to their communities and their areas that created intergenerational change.
Yeah.
So around education for children, immunisation and healthcare, housing for elderly people, and that was what was so inspiring, and just how much they could get done in such a relatively short period of time was what was also absolutely astounding about it. Yeah.
That's really amazing. That's incredible. What does International Women's Day mean to you as a woman in business, as a woman, as a well-travelled person?
Yeah, I think International Women's Day is a time where, as women, we should honour and reflect where we've where women have come from and the changes that have been made, and also the changes that are still being made.
Yeah.
I think of, even in my family, my great-grandmother married a Chinese gold miner in the late 1800s, and that would have been a courageous thing, I imagine, for her to do at that particular time. So it's honouring people, the women that have tread their path before, as well as those that are doing it now and creating new ways and new pathways forward to follow.
Yeah, that's amazing. Awesome. The theme this year for International Women's Day is Choose to Challenge. So has there ever been a time in your life or your career where you've experienced gender biases or seen it and you've chosen to step up and say something about it?
I wish I could think of something off the top of my head, actually. I've been incredibly fortunate that I haven't noticed it directed towards me. I haven't, I suppose, maybe chosen even to see. And I think, and we can probably talk about or debate whether that's a position of privilege as well. When from a position of privilege as a white Western woman that owns a business, that I'm not looking, I'm not seeing those things which other people are seeing. It's sort of is thought provoking for me to say that. I think choosing to challenge is also sometimes around choosing to acknowledge and challenge our own perceptions and our own beliefs and the way that we see and understand things. And the best way that I've found so far, and the best way that I understand it, as I am to do that, is to ask questions and listen.
Yeah.
Really listen with a view to trying to understand and learn, as opposed to listening for a break in conversation to say something that I might have predetermined or want to say.
Yeah.
So I think for me that's on reflection, the choose to challenge is really about how do I challenge and learn more for myself. Yeah.
That's really nice. That's a really great way of thinking about it.
Thank you.
In what ways do you celebrate yourself and your achievements? Because you clearly have achieved so much. You were talking earlier before about what you set out in life and the goals that you wanted. And so you've achieved all those, and that's really amazing. So how do you celebrate your achievements, and how do you celebrate the achievements of other women in your life?
I think sometimes it's just that moment of acknowledgement and saying, hey, I've done this. Look at where I was and look at where I am now. And did I imagine that it would look like this? No, I didn't. But wow, this is really great. So, talking about those things that we were saying before, I had the lofty goals as a teenager through high school that I just wanted to, I knew I wanted to be married, I wanted to have 4 children, I wanted to work for myself, and I wanted to travel. And they are the things that now form the pillars of my life. So I acknowledge and am eternally grateful for having, a partner and a family that allows me to achieve those things. And I think the extraordinary happens in the ordinary moments of our everyday lives, and sometimes it's that time of just sitting and saying, wow,
this happened.
This happened. yeah, this happened, that's great. And I think it's sometimes also being able to say to other people, hey, wow, you've done that. I know that you've worked hard and that was what you were looking to achieve, and I've noticed it.
Yeah.
Well done.
Acknowledging those feelings and that person's.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so important.
Absolutely. It doesn't have to be a great party all the time.
Yeah. How do you feel empowered by being a woman?
I think the women do bring a different perspective and a different energy and a different way of being to a situation. And I think that when we know and understand that and can feel that and are happy to embody that in the situations that we go into and live into that, that's empowering. And that's what, if we can do that for ourselves, if we can teach that to our nieces, our daughters, grandchildren, where, the young women that we come in contact with.
Yeah.
If we can also, as a mother of sons, if I can also teach my sons to respect the differences that women will bring and the perspective that they will do that is how that's empowering for women. And for everybody, as well.
To see and understand women's perspectives.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to engage in constructive conversation. Occasionally spirited debate. I think is really important for all of us.
Yes, I agree. Thank you so much for talking to me. This has been really great.
That's all right.
It's exciting International Women's Day.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks.